Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Cheeky Couch. It is Saturday and we love Saturdays because Saturdays are dedicated to Real Housewives of New Jersey. Today we are doing episodes 4 and 5, and if you guys can believe it, we're almost to the finale because the first season of Real Housewives of New Jersey is very, very short. Much like most of the Housewife franchises, first season is always kind of like a pilot situation, so they're not very long. So we're actually almost to the finale, and then we're already going to be to season 2, which is really exciting. Season 3 is like my favorite, or it's the start of like my favorite. Episode number 4 is titled Black and White and Red All Over, but not the color red. It's red as in reading a book. Because if you guys have watched Jersey Housewives before, you know what is coming. We are getting into the book. If you don't know about the book, oh my gosh. It is the reason for Teresa's famous table flip. It's the reason for so much. And it's actually kind of madness. I'm not going to lie to you. Before we get started, I do just want to remind everybody my podcast is available on YouTube if you prefer to watch it, or on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and Stitcher. All of those platforms will be listed down below, whether you're listening or whether you're watching on YouTube. Wherever you are consuming this content, I would really appreciate if you guys could give me a rating and a download of the episode, or a thumbs up here on YouTube and leave a comment. I appreciate it so much. Without further ado, let's get started. Episode 4 opens with Teresa, Jacqueline, and Danielle. They're out to lunch. Quite literally, they're out to lunch. And Danielle starts talking about these rumors going around. She has this friend that let her know there are these rumors swirling around her. One of them being that she sleeps with married men. She's a husband stealer, that type of thing. Oh, and the rumor that a physical trainer came to her house. And instead of payment, Danielle offered him sex. These are the rumors. Don't know if it's true or not, but that's what's circling our little town of Franklin Lakes. Needless to say, Danielle is relentlessly denying these rumors. She kind of makes a funny comment saying, why would she go after a man who only makes $25,000 a year when she already owes more than that to Neiman Marcus currently? Which, oh my God, I hope that isn't true. I hope people aren't putting that big of purchases on like a credit situation and have to pay that back. That is a nightmare. Jacqueline makes a really interesting comment to me here. She does not say that she doesn't believe the rumors or that it's all bullshit. Jacqueline simply says, unless you're an endangerment to myself, my husband, or my kids, I really don't care, what's going on out there, what they're saying about you. And when certain things like this come up, I try to put myself in the situation as if it was my friend. So say that I'm Jacqueline and Danielle's my bestie, and she tells me these rumors are swirling around about her. First of all, it depends on which friend. I'd be like, bitch, you know you did that. Like, if it was a certain friend, I'd be like, you know you did that, but it's cool. But no, if you love your friend and you have no reason to believe this, what do you immediately say, like, that is such bullshit? Who is spreading these rumors? That's not what Jacqueline does. Jacqueline almost seems like she has heard these before and perhaps has been a part of a conversation where these so-called rumors came up. So right now, my little feelers, my little antennas are out about Jacqueline, okay? I'm getting weird vibes from here. I don't like that she didn't immediately say, Danielle, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. We had to figure out who is spreading these rumors because this is so not cool. Jacqueline seems a little too knowledgeable about the situation. So now we're at Dina's house with her little daughter, Lexi. She's helping Lexi pack because Lexi's father is Greek. He lives in Cyprus, which is so freaking cool, but I do feel bad for Lexi for the months of the year when maybe she probably doesn't see her dad that often. I mean, he lives in another country, for crying out loud. So Dina is helping Lexi pack. That's about all that happens here. We're at Jacqueline's. She's making coffee as always. Oh my gosh, let me tell you guys, please start tracking this. Starting like maybe an episode or so ago, continuing on till when Jacqueline leaves the show. Anytime we're at Jacqueline's, she is in the kitchen and she is making coffee and she has the same, is it Coffee Mate creamer on the counter every single time. It's like her thing. And I'm sure we all use Coffee Mate. That's not the joke, but it's just, we never find her like in the garden or she's never like in the living room. Like she is always in her very brown kitchen with a bottle of creamer. It's funny to me. Anyway, I like little details like that. So Teresa comes over and she says, her and Joe have been watching Dancing with the Stars and Joe loves Dancing with the Stars. Sorry. I had to. Teresa's voice is just hilarious to me. And being in New Jersey, I can tell you, I have never met one person who talks like Teresa. Maybe little words here or there you hear and it's common, but Teresa's accent, I'm telling you, is one of a kind. It's one of its own. Like, no one talks like Teresa. But anyway, her and Joe have been watching Dancing with the Stars, and they want to take a dancing class. So she asks Jacqueline and her husband to join, and then Teresa surprisingly says, I think it's secret mean girl shit. Teresa says, you call and invite Danielle, which is interesting because we know that everyone's really put off by Danielle. I mean, Teresa's been annoyed with her since the last episode, saying she's so sick of Danielle drama. I'm sure, you know, just because of the way the show is structured, they're not going to shoot a group scene without Danielle. So production probably said, hey, Teresa, you know, you be the one to say, call up Danielle. I'm sure it's something like that. But in Pretendy Land, this is just very mean girl to me. I feel like she only wants Danielle there for things to go down or for these rumors to pop up or this book that we're going to be talking about soon. We're not there just yet. Oh, real quick, before the episode begins, I'm actually in the middle of filming the episode, but something came up and I want a trigger warning before you get into this in case, you know, you decide you don't want any part of this. Totally understand. I want you to have that information, but I want to trigger warning homophobia. There is homophobia in this episode. So if you want to skip it, totally cool. And I will warn you again once we approach that time in the episode. And I will tell you to skip for a minute, 2 minutes. I'll be really quick with it. So just letting you know that now. Okay, so we are pulling up to the dance center. Caroline has brought her sons, her daughter. Jacqueline's there, Jacqueline's husband. Danielle comes. Danielle doesn't have a date. And of course, Teresa and Joe are here because it was their idea. So at this dance center, something kind of cool. I don't know who the guy is, but there's somebody on Dancing with the Stars at this time. I think he was an instructor. His father actually teaches here. So that's kind of cool. They're getting like obviously a really awesome dancer, a lesson from a really amazing dancer. I believe they're doing salsa. And then everyone's just kind of goofing off, having fun. Now, Danielle actually is an experienced dancer. You can tell the way her body moves and the way she's able to follow the movement. She's a beautiful dancer. She has the dancer's body, and everyone is just hating on her for it. Caroline has a talking head where she's like, we get it. Like, you know how to dance. Like, that's not what this is about. Like, quit showing off, basically. And it's like, I'm sorry. I thought this is exactly what it's about. She's a dancer. You brought her to a dance class, and now we're all going to talk shit on the fact that she knows how to dance. Like, can you relax? Oh my God, the mean girls in this show. It's unbelievable. And I'm so embarrassed to say, when I used to watch this, the first time I watched this, I think I was probably like 19, 20 years old. I hated Danielle. I did. And now, like, maturing, watching this as an adult or more developed adult, I'm like, holy shit, poor Danielle. Everyone's so annoyed with her just because she's taking the lesson seriously. She's a dancer. What do you want? Ugh, the hate is awful. And Jacqueline in her talking head is kind of goofing on Danielle for making like these eyes at the dancer. First of all, it's a very, I don't want to say sexual dance, but it is intimate. It's passionate. Yes, she's just got the vibe. She's doing a sexy little dance with a sexy little instructor. Not to mention, can we just say, Danielle is technically a single woman. I know, like, I don't know, the storyline with Steve, I think it's all a farce to begin with. So I'm just going to say Danielle is basically single. She's a single woman. So what if she was making bedroom eyes at the dance instructor, you know? I mean, as long as he's not married. I don't know that he is. But it's also, Danielle just is a dancer. So she just knows the vibe, the mood. Like, what type of faces should she be making? I just think the hate on Danielle is so insane. By the way, if you guys like this makeup look, it should be on my Instagram now. I did a reel about it. My Instagram is thatgirlshayxo, and I did a little tutorial today on this look. So if you want to see it, head to my Instagram. Anyway, so the dance instructor says, let's switch partners. So everyone kind of moves down the line. Naturally, Danielle is now dancing with who but the matriarch of the show, Caroline's oldest son, Albie. And Caroline's over there on the couch because, of course, Caroline doesn't dance. She's just there to watch everybody awkwardly. Her eyes go boom, because obviously we know she hates Danielle, and we know she's spreading these damn rumors, or we know this family in general, this Manzo family, Danielle is their biggest target, let's be honest. Teresa says Danielle is basically mauling Caroline's son. It's not true. Okay, maybe she's being a little flirty, but he's a grown adult, he's in college, he's a cute guy, and they're just dancing. The hardest piece of evidence here, if you will, is simply Albie wasn't moving like his hips. He was kind of he was dancing like real straight, like a white guy. he's like a stick out there. He literally is like a plank of wood. It's salsa, it's sexy. He's not moving his hips at all. So Danielle takes his hands, places them on her hips, and says, just feel where my hips go. They're not against each other, mind you, okay? It's very proper dance form. There is a wall of space between them. They are not touching that way. But she does grab his hands and put them on her hips, and she goes, just feel the movement, like follow like this. They are literally just following the dance instructor. Was putting his hands on her hips too far? Maybe. Albie kind of says that it was too, so if he was uncomfortable, I understand. Personally, I don't think he was uncomfortable. I think it's just this hate train around Danielle, and he couldn't wait to have something to add to it. But that is the most that she does. She's just showing him how to move with the music. It's really not a big deal. It's dancing. Oh my God, I just can't. I can't take it. All right, now we're getting to the homophobia trigger. I'm letting you know right now, I would skip about 5 minutes. Let me check my time. I'm going to keep this between 5 minutes because it's a lot. So we've switched partners again, and Danielle is now dancing with Joe, Teresa's husband. This is the start of a major problem in New Jersey housewives regarding Teresa's husband, Joe, and homophobia, being homophobic. We see it repeatedly. So he's dancing with Danielle. The instructor comes over to them and says, you need to move your back foot a little quicker because Joe's just not really keeping up. So the instructor just gives a little tip. Joe goes, he's so gay. Instantly, Danielle's face is just annoyed, and good for her because this is an awkward dynamic. You know these people don't like you. You're dancing with this guy. You know he doesn't like you, and he's best friends with the guy that you're kind of like on the outs with. Danielle hates it. Trying to kind of be funny about it, but let him know it wasn't cool. Danielle says, I'm a little close right now with my knee there, Joe, because, she's dancing in between his legs. She lets him know, like, chill. That's not cool, and I'm close to kneeing your balls, is basically what Danielle is saying. And this show is old, so kudos to her for stopping this back then. I don't think I could say that for many other wives on the show. I don't think many of them would ever think to say, oh, don't say that. You know what I mean? So kudos to Danielle. Danielle does have a best friend who is gay. We're going to meet him. I think it's either this episode or it's next episode. But I don't know. I'm just really proud of Danielle here because sometimes, depending on the crowd you're with, maybe it's not always easy to shut down these slurs that you're hearing or the homophobia that you're hearing. But she had it was an instant reaction. She had no time for it. So then the dance is wrapping up. Danielle's on the phone with somebody. Joe's sitting right next to her. And I cannot figure out who he's talking to in this clip. I don't know if he's saying it in front of Danielle just to antagonize her. And I'm almost certain that's what he's doing. I'll keep watching, but he says, come on, Gaylord. And Danielle's on the phone, and she says, watch it. Like, seriously, enough. Like, stop. He tells her to be quiet. So then she says, don't tell me to be quiet. I'm not your wife. Teresa is pissed. She really blames Danielle here. She says, my husband's the easiest, her words, my husband is the easiest guy to get along with. Danielle just had to start with him for some reason. And later when we get to the reunion, I felt so terrible for Andy Cohen and anyone who might be watching who is offended because Teresa still doesn't get it. It kind of takes her a season or two to kind of understand that he's being homophobic. Like Teresa doesn't see it. She's like, oh no, he's fine. She's one of those. We have gay friends. It's okay. It's that type of a moment, which is so awful. But I just am so proud of Danielle here for putting her foot down and saying like, that's not okay in front of me. It's hard for a woman to do that to a man, So now Teresa and Joe are done with Danielle. He says she's so fucking annoying. She better stay away from me. Teresa feels insulted because Danielle said, don't tell me to be quiet. I'm not your wife. Which, okay, like, I guess maybe could be a dig, but, like, it is just kind of like, you don't know me like that, so don't talk to me like that, Oh, it's bad. Anyway, we're going to move on from that. Trigger warning is now over. Miss Lola Jean has entered the chat. Say hi, Lola. So now we're at Dina's house. She's having a little going away party for her daughter Lexi. Everyone's over except Danielle. And they're really all just talking shit on Danielle and how she was coming on to Albie. Albie does say that she was being too serious about the dance. So if it made him uncomfortable, fair enough. I mean, that's his right to say that. I don't think Danielle had ill will with the dancing, but they seem to all believe so. So, Lola, can they hear you purring? I hope not. I'm so sorry if you can hear her purring. Camera loves you. You're so beautiful. Okay, sorry. Now we are with Jacqueline and her husband, and they are at her doctor. If you remember, they've been trying to conceive. Another trigger warning about miscarriage. I'm going to say this really, really quickly. So mute for about 10 seconds. Not even 10. Let's do 5 seconds. Jacqueline had 4 miscarriages. So they went to the doctor to get some things checked out. Luckily, all her tests came back great. There's really no reason that they shouldn't be able to conceive. And because they've already done it before with their son, they're hoping that, unfortunately, she's just got a really bad string of bad luck. Everything really should be fine. It should be fine. There's no reason why it shouldn't work. So that's good news. So we're back at Dina's. Her daughter is leaving for Cyprus. So Dina is crying, understandably. That's about the end of that. Then we're at Danielle's house, and Danielle is in the kitchen making some pizza for her daughters. They come in. They're the cutest little girls. I just have to say, in Danielle's defense, they seem like really well-rounded, really good girl. Like, really, they're just kids. I just hate how Danielle is painted as such a bad... I feel like she's painted as such a bad person when, I think her kids are the biggest example of her, that they're so wonderful. Danielle then tells us that she actually called Teresa after the dance lesson and told her that she apologizes if anything was misinterpreted or if she spoke out of turn, basically. And Teresa hung up on Danielle. Imagine that. That is so sad. It was Teresa's husband who was out of line. And yet Danielle apologized because she just clearly felt bad, or she felt awkward, and maybe she felt, okay, maybe I was being too extreme, which she wasn't. She was right to call out Joe. And then Teresa hangs up on her. It's so mean. Thank you, babe. That's exactly what I was saying. It's so mean. Lola completely agrees. Or she's just telling me to shut up. Oh, yeah, she's telling me to shut up. Look at her. She's like, I'm over this. You gonna go? There you go. Oh, you're just adjusting. Okay. We're just adjusting. That's fine. Now, Danielle thinks Teresa's attitude has changed with her because of Dina. And what's so interesting about this, and by the way, I completely agree. I think Dina's doing all the talking, but we don't see Dina talking about any of the Danielle stuff. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Oh, babe, your tail's stuck. Okay. Dina, in my opinion, is like the puppeteer. She's the master puppeteer here, and she's got all her little puppets doing all her little dirty work for her. I completely believe this. Okay, are you guys ready for Bookgate? We are getting into it now. Teresa comes over. She's with Dina and Caroline. Caroline has a little talking head where she says, we weren't doing anything, but we have some information. This fell into our laps. Someone came to us with this information. Like, we totally were not a part of this. Bullshit. Teresa's going off, going like, oh my God, she's absolute garbage. She's a garbage person. Have you guys seen the Real Housewives of New Jersey South Park episode? It's like all about season 1, basically, and it's so funny. It's like so accurate. But anyway, in Teresa's talking head, she says, we've heard all these rumors about Danielle, and now there's a book. She holds up the book. The book is called A Cop Without a Badge, I believe. If you're watching the video, I'll have a shot of it, of course, here for you to see. This book was written by Danielle's ex, and it talks about Danielle in the book. It makes wild allegations about Danielle in the book. And of course, it has naturally fallen into the hands of the Manzos and Teresa. And here starts Bookgate. So then Caroline has a talking head. She starts off by saying, we found the book on the internet. And then she goes, I found the book in the library and we read it collectively as a group. She's so clearly trying to cover for who bought the book, who brought the book into the group, and who is bringing it up on the show. She says we did it collectively as a group. She's trying to keep Dina clean, let's be honest. So Teresa's saying she is so done with Danielle, and she says that she was almost blindsided because Danielle was so nice to Teresa, and so Teresa just felt the need to be really nice back. And then Caroline, of course, thinking like a mean girl, is like, no, if anyone's ever that nice to you, you have to wonder why they're being so nice if they don't know you. As if you're not just a decent, friendly person. Like, we all just have to have our guard up all the time and not be nice to nice people. I have a friend who reminds me of Caroline Manzo. I love her to death, but she tells me all the time, like, stop being so nice. You're too nice to people. Not because I'm being taken advantage of or anything like that, but just because she thinks I'm too nice all the time. It annoys her how nice I am. I'm not even kidding you. Every time I see her, she's annoyed with me because I'm being friendly. So I know this type, and it's just not who I am. I am just nice, or I do my best to be anyway. Now, let's get something straight. The allegations in this book about Danielle are not good. They are frightening, and if you were a parent, I can imagine you being a little scared. The book accuses Danielle of being involved with the Colombian cartel, being a sex worker, with kidnapping, and Danielle did get in trouble. She does have a record. Mind you, that was in her past. This is an older book, and now she's living in beautiful Franklin Lakes, raising 2 daughters. It's like everyone has a past, you know, maybe not as extensive or as dramatic as Danielle's, but again, it's a little interesting watching this, knowing that the Manzo family has supposed ties to the mafia. If you Google how Caroline's father-in-law died, I'm saving it for a full deep dive episode, but he was murdered and he was placed in the trunk of his car without any clothes on, which is a thing they talk about here in Jersey. It's not the first case of this happening when you go against a family, if you will. So it's just interesting seeing them, or it's kind of upsetting, really seeing them be so harsh on Danielle when there's kind of a sort of a dark cloud above Jersey housewives of crime with the Manzo family and with what Teresa is going to be getting into soon. And Dina's husband, I believe, had charges on him or was arrested or accused of placing a hit on Dina's partner after him because they got divorced. Like, Danielle, sure, is no innocent spring chicken here, but neither is anybody else, quite frankly. I know, that's what I'm saying. They're very rude. Then Dina goes, and we knew this was coming. Dina says if Jacqueline continues to be friends with Danielle, it's going to affect their relationship with Jacqueline. Mind you, Jacqueline is married to Caroline and Dina's brother, like your family. And the whole time that they're saying this, they keep saying blood is thicker than water. And it's just like, really? Because you're about to, well, I guess technically Jacqueline isn't your blood, but your brother sure as hell is, and that's his wife. So shouldn't you kind of back off, you know? It's kind of up to Jacqueline if she wants to continue the relationship. It's ridiculous. So now, oh my God, this is the Crazy Cat House. If you guys are listening and not watching, I now have a cat behind my head. I am the Crazy Cat Lady. Hi, nice to meet you. Aren't I gorgeous? Now we are at Danielle's house, and she has invited Jacqueline over, and she's just going to cut to the chase. She knows that this book is circulating. It is her worst nightmare. She never wanted this to happen, and I'm sure she has spent her whole life trying to make sure this information does not come out. Poor thing, just trying to move on with her life. So she asked Jacqueline over, her closest confidant. She wants to make sure she can salvage the relationship with Jacqueline and just get these rumors out of the way. Let's just talk about it. Danielle says, I had just come back from a modeling trip. Danielle was a model, by the way. She was visiting her boyfriend's house and a federal bust happened. And Danielle was there. And obviously her ex-boyfriend was not a good guy. Or he was at least involved in some bad dealings. Danielle says she was only arrested as an accessory. Jacqueline says, well, the book says that you were arrested for kidnapping and for, like, beating a person and for holding someone for ransom. And, like, that is alarming. Okay, that's not a good thing to have your name attached to. That's very bad. And Jacqueline, like, laughingly goes, I was like, oh, hell no, she's not babysitting for me, which you can see really hurts Danielle instantly. But it's also understandable. I'm not saying Jacqueline has to let her babysit. Not at all. So Jacqueline's asking her for more details, essentially, like, let me know what's up, please. Danielle says she really can't get into it. Danielle says in her talking head, if I was this person, like if I was this monster that this guy portrayed me to be, wouldn't you have picked up on that by now? Like, wouldn't you know? I don't know. Would you? I don't know. Danielle's just saying she's on damage control now. She's got to clean all this up and explain a lot of bullshit that she never wanted brought back up in her life. And she just hopes when the smoke clears that Jacqueline and everyone can see that she's a good person. And I feel awful for her. I really, really do. This is hard to have such a horrible past brought back up when you've clearly moved on. She's raising 2 beautiful girls in a beautiful home. It really just does feel like she just cannot move on from this. Jacqueline says, okay, when you go to look for this book in the library, what is it under? Is it under fiction? Is it under autobiography? And Danielle is so funny. She goes, I don't know. I've never looked for it. Maybe you should ask Dina that. And Jacqueline's face is just like, she is like deer in the headlights, like, oh shit, here we go. Danielle says, I'm sorry, I just got to talk about her real quick. And Jacqueline says, please don't. Like, I get it. It's a tricky situation for Jacqueline because that is her sister-in-law. That is her husband's sister. Like, what is she going to do here? Danielle claims she has proof that Dina is the one who got the book, who brought the book into circulation and showed the whole freaking town. This will play in the finale in a huge way. Dina has a talking head saying it's absolutely not her. She didn't do it. Her hands are clean. Who do you believe? I'm really curious. And what's super shitty is Danielle claims that Dina brought the book to the salon that they all go to. Remember seeing that salon in the first episode? There's the Chateau Salon, and they all go to primp and preen and get ready for their events there. And Dina supposedly brought the book there after it's been hidden out of circulation for 24 years. Now, I'm not saying it wouldn't have come up because internet sleuths, like, the minute someone's on a reality show, they find information like that. Like, they just do. So it was going to come out regardless. But still, it's her hometown. It's where her kids are living, where they're going to school, where they're growing up. And to have their mother talked about this way, ay. And of course, you can always say, you know, if Danielle wanted it hidden, don't go on a reality show. Of course you can make that argument. It is what it is. I'm still sad. I'm still sad for Danielle. Danielle gets super intense here, and she makes Jacqueline hold up her drink. They're drinking champagne. Danielle says, stick by your friends and know who your enemies truly are. And then she clinks Jacqueline's glass. Jacqueline looks terrified here. She just does. And Jacqueline says, who are my enemies? We're then at Teresa's house. She is moving in finally. She's having all of her furniture dropped off, and she gets a phone call from Gia's agent. The agent asks if Gia would want to do Gossip Girl on Friday, which sounds really exciting. I have to tell you, I've watched Gossip Girl probably 30 times. Okay, you're right. Probably closer to 4. Okay, closer to 50. We watch it a lot. I get it. We have watched Gossip Girl a lot in this house. I look for Gia everywhere. I've never seen Gia in Gossip Girl nowhere. I've checked the Reddits. I've checked for both Gossip Girl and for Real Housewives of New Jersey. I can't find a single image of Gia doing Gossip Girl, and it's not on her IMDb, so I don't think it ever actually worked out, which is unfortunate. I feel like there's such a focus on Gia and this agency, and this girl ain't getting any work. She's just not. I don't know whose fault that is, but I feel bad for Gia because I believe Gia has it, and she's going to be successful in life at whatever she does. But Gia is a little star. I really do believe it. I'm sad she's not, or I didn't see her in Gossip Girl, and she's not credited in Gossip Girl, so I don't know. We're then at Danielle's house again, and she has her friend Tommy over. Tommy is gay. He is Danielle's very best friend in the world, and you can tell he rides for her. He is seriously her best friend, and he's just as disgusted and distraught that these women are kind of really bullying Danielle, bringing up all these things, and he's just not cool with it. He's like, you know, tell me the gossip. They're just vegging out. He's really just comforting Danielle and being there for her. And Danielle's kind of giving the lowdown about the events that have happened in her life, about her arrest, about how she was on TV. You know, she was only 21 years old. This happened 24 years ago, and she's crying. You can tell this is obviously trauma for her. This is just something that she absolutely hates, she thought was in her past, and here it is again, you know, in everyone's faces, and she has children now. It's different, you know? It's scary having kids and your past coming back up. I really feel for Danielle. I know we all make our own mistakes, but obviously I feel for her a lot. So Tommy is giving Danielle the best advice he has, and he says, you need to call out Dina. You need to nip this in the bud. Take care of these biatches. So Danielle is hatching a plan. She's gonna do it. And that is it for episode number 4, you guys. I'm actually going to go feed this little girl right here. Oh, she's falling asleep. Look how sweet she is. Have you seen anything cuter? I'm sorry, but she's the cutest little thing. I'm going to go feed my baby. It's her dinner time. I know it's the only reason why she's being adorable, because she wants food. I'm also going to remove this eye makeup because it's fucking killing me. I've had it on for like 10 hours and it really hurts. And then we'll get on to episode number 5. Can you believe it? We're on number 5 already? Amazing. I'll be right back. Okay, are you guys ready? We are on to episode 5. My eyes feel so much better. It's just like after a long day, having all that makeup on, it just feels like shit. Episode number 5 is titled Casinos and Sea Cups because we're going to be taking a little trip down to Atlantic City in this episode. You may have seen my father there. He's there every freaking night. After work, drives to AC. It's insanity. And C cups because Teresa wants to get a little boob job. So yay for Teresa. The episode starts with Teresa visiting Dina at her house. We get to see Dina's little hairless kitty. Her name is Grandma. She is so precious. The girls are just chilling, vegging, and also packing because they're going to be going to Atlantic City, like we said, for Teresa's birthday. She's like never left her kids before, so she's a little nervous, but they're excited for a little girls' weekend. Then we're popping over to Caroline's, and she and her kids are all in their basement. They have a little basement gym room. Lucky. And she has a personal trainer come to the house to train them all and give them all a good workout. So that's really nice. Good bonding. I do like how the Manza family is so close. Drama starters, I would say. Shit stirrers, but they're close. That's fun. Moving on from that, we are now in Atlantic City with Teresa for her birthday. Birthday girl. Dina and Caroline. Jacqueline didn't go. Jacqueline has a talking head saying that she could feel that Dina was getting really annoyed with her because Jacqueline wasn't breaking off her friendship with Danielle. So Jacqueline didn't want to go. How about that? That's really interesting, right? Jacqueline is literally choosing Danielle in this moment. Teresa, being the stage mom that she is, and the fact that she doesn't have any kids with her, is going to treat herself like a little Barbie doll for this little girls' weekend. They're only in Atlantic City for 2 days, and Teresa brought probably 40 outfits. I'm not even kidding you. Again, it's this overall theme of Teresa just being so eccentric and lavish and enjoys lots of pretty things, which is so crazy for what is about to come in their lives. It's so crazy. Now we're at Jacqueline's house and she is looking over Ashley's grades. If you remember, Ashley had to go to summer school because she was failing out of school. I had to do the same thing. And Ashley is thriving in summer school. And guess what? I did the same fucking thing. It's not that you're not smart. It's, for me, I was nervous at school. Summer school, I fucking loved. I'll be honest with you. There was like maybe 3 kids in my class, 3 to 5 kids in my classroom total, I would say. And it was better. It was better. It's hard being in a big school with so many kids and so many people in class. So I'm not surprised that Ashley is actually thriving at summer school because I did the same. And I really relate to Ashley. Though this episode is a little rough and bumpy for Ashley. Because Ashley's doing so well in summer school, she asks Jacqueline, her mother, if her grades are good enough to get a car. Little does Ashley know she has a car. It's just sitting in a warehouse like, I guess they're just waiting for her to be deserving of it, which I suppose is fair. I think it's all a little strange. I don't know why you buy a car just to have it sitting in a warehouse, but okay. Now we're at Danielle's house, and it's her birthday as well. Another birthday girl. And her kids are having a cute little party for her. She's got like a little birthday princess pin on, and her daughter gives her this little elephant that she made. It's so, so cute. I'm sorry. I love Danielle. Now, mind you, season 2, it's going to get a little rough with Danielle. I'm not going to lie to you, but in this moment, I just want good things for Danielle, and she just wants someone other than her children to share her birthday with. Danielle then lets us know that she hasn't really talked to Jacqueline that much, and then Jacqueline has a talking head saying that she just needs a little time to process things because her family is adamant that they no longer want her to be around Danielle. So Jacqueline's just really stuck in the middle here, really just trying to figure out what's to do. So she hasn't cut ties with Danielle, but she's definitely distanced herself for right now. But I have to say, the fact that she didn't go to AC with her sister-in-laws and one of her closest friends is pretty telling of whose side she's really on. Back in AC, the women are in a jewelry store trying on diamonds. There's a $1 million necklace. And Dina says the funny thing about Teresa is that she was actually considering buying the necklace. And she's trying to see all the different ways you can wear it. And like, okay, could I do it like this? Could I do it like this? Like she was considering it. Again, blows my mind. Now they're in a little lingerie store, just having fun, trying little swimsuits and lingerie on. And Teresa opens up about how she's going to get a boob job. And she says she's got the butt, which she has a small butt, but fine. In her world, she's got the butt. She just needs the dreaded word, boobies, as they call them. God, I hate that damn word. But yeah, so she wants boobies. I hate it. Now we are with Jacqueline and Ashley. This is another painful mother-daughter moment. I hate these moments between the two. I told you my mom and I were the same way about a million different situations, and so it's painful to watch. But because Ashley's been doing so good in summer school, Jacqueline decided to take her to like a photo shoot, like let her get these photos done. The photographer actually shot for Carrie D from America's Next Top Model, if you guys remember Carrie D. And let me know your feelings about America's Next Top Model, by the way. Hint, hint, wink, wink. I might have something in the works. Jacqueline had really good intentions. She wanted to build her daughter's self-esteem. She says Ashley gets really down on herself. And Ashley's been really interested in modeling and things like that, like in acting, like how I think a lot of us all are when we're younger. So Jacqueline was kind enough to put together this really nice photo shoot for Ashley. So Ashley's photo shoot starts. She looks incredible. She looks so beautiful. Ashley's such a gorgeous girl. I'm sure a lot of us can relate to this. When you just don't feel comfortable, when your confidence isn't super high, it doesn't matter how beautiful you look. Like, you don't feel beautiful. That's it. Like, that's it. It doesn't matter if everyone says you look amazing, you look so beautiful. It just doesn't matter. When you don't feel that way, none of that matters to you. And so Ashley's definitely getting really uncomfortable. The photo shoot starts out fun, and you just see Ashley kind of collapse on herself a little bit. I can just see the anxiety on her. You can just, it's so thick, the anxiety around this poor girl. When you're older, you look at it as just a silly little photo shoot. Like, what does it matter? Like, you don't have to put those photos anywhere. But for Ashley, this is a big moment for her. She's interested in modeling and acting. This is her first photo shoot. She clearly watches like America's Top Model and things like that. So the amount of pressure that she puts on herself in this little photo shoot, it's only going to go badly. You know what I mean? And though the photographer is wonderful, he's doing things that would make me uncomfortable too. Like, you can tell she really didn't want this. She's wearing this beautiful black gown, and it gives her this big black scarf. I'll put a photo on the screen so you can see. And he's like, put it above your head and hold it up. And I'd be like, that is literally so corny. Like, I wouldn't want to do that at all. That is like the cheesiest thing. Like, let's be honest, she's probably taking these photos to put them up on her social media. So she's like, this is just corny. I'm so not interested in this. And the other thing that I felt really bad for her is he has this fan blowing on her face, right? He has angled it to the opposite. Okay, so she has a middle part, right? Let's say, okay, let me just do it. Visuals work so much better, right? And if you're listening instead of watching, remember, you can always hop over to my YouTube channel, That Girl Shay XO, and you can see what I'm talking about. So she has kind of like a side part like this, right? I know this is bad, but work with me here, people. And he has the fan blowing like right here. So you would think he would have the fan blowing right here, right? So it just naturally, nicely parts. The fan is like hitting her right here. So her hair kind of keeps going like this. And it's kind of like blowing in this really awkward way. It's kind of making her hair go all nutso. And not in like a glamorous way, in like a really bad way. So that would piss me off too. So now she's getting really overwhelmed and she's getting really anxious. And what happens when you're with your mother, in my case and in Ashley's, and you're really anxious and you're really nervous and you're really uncomfortable, but you don't know how to say it? You start to bicker and you start to fight. It's just where you go. And it's where Ashley goes. Jacqueline, trying to be nice and trying to help, starts telling the photographer, like, sorry. She's just uncomfortable with herself. She's just uncomfortable with herself. So now, like, Ashley's totally humiliated, and it's just boiling up. And then, of course, Ashley runs off and starts to cry because it's just not going how she envisioned her big photo shoot. In the mind of someone her age, this is her big break. This is her big photo shoot. You know what I mean? It's not that big of a deal in the real world, but in her world right now, it is probably one of the biggest things. So Ashley's yelling at her mom in front of all these people. So now, of course, Jacqueline's getting embarrassed. Jacqueline's getting anxious. And here's where we just implode, right? They're both so annoyed with each other at this point, and this is just so painful to watch. So the photographer has uploaded the photos to let Ashley see, just maybe to even give her a little more confidence to see how beautiful they are. And they are beautiful, you guys. These are great photos of Ashley. She looks amazing. Ashley has a poor choice of words. Jacqueline's saying, oh my gosh, see, the photos look amazing. Don't you love them? And Ashley says, no, I don't like them. They're not good photos of me. I don't like them at all. And then the photographer's insulted and he goes, oh, well, that's real nice. Like, and kind of laughs it off. And Ashley says, no, it's not your fault. It's me. I'm not happy. I don't look good in those photos. I mean, I know you guys all get it too. She's not saying the photos are bad or that he's a bad photographer. She just doesn't feel right in them. She doesn't feel confident. She's lacking confidence. So Jacqueline's sitting there humiliated that Ashley's being, in her eyes, kind of a brat. And she slaps Ashley on the thigh really hard and goes like, stop it. Like, she hits her. She gives her a good smack on the thigh. So then it's like a back and forth domino effect. So now Ashley's even more upset because Jacqueline just hit her and she's like getting all red and embarrassed and humiliated. And they haven't even taken their mother-daughter photo yet. We still have the mother-daughter photo to do. So they get in their little mother-daughter outfits and they pose for their picture. And you can just see they don't want to be anywhere near each other. They are so done with each other. And I would hate to be Ashley on this car ride home because I'm sure Jacqueline gave it to her. Not that she shouldn't have, but I bet that wasn't fun. Let's say that. Now we're with Teresa, Caroline, and Dina at the pool. And who calls but Steve? Vile Steve. No, I'm kidding. He's not vile. I don't mean to be mean. I don't know him, but I don't believe he's 26 years old, and it rubs me the wrong way all this time that they're still claiming he's 26 years old. Anyway, Steve asks Teresa if he can borrow her shore house. He wants to bring another girl there named Monique. Teresa asks if he's still dating Danielle, and he's like, yeah, and that he's not going to tell Danielle that he's going to the shore with this girl, Monique. So, sad for Danielle. And sorry for Monique that she's also seeing Steve, of all people. Now the girls are all out to dinner, and Dina's talking about how she really is kind of over having a career, and she wants to just focus on being a wife. Now we're with Danielle. She is at the diner, and she is meeting Steve. Steve looks like he just robbed an Ed Hardy store. He's got the Ed Hardy shirt. He's got the Ed Hardy hat. He is full on Jersey Shore vibes. They sit down. He's quiet as a mouse. He's just sitting there. Like, he has no, he does not care to be there. I don't believe this storyline. In fact, I would love to actually find Steve and see if I can interview him about this because I'm baffled by Steve. Danielle's going on about how he's so young. You know, his mother's probably the same age as Danielle, but nevertheless, she did not expect to develop such great feelings for Steve. So I think this is the breakup. Steve doesn't seem to really give a fuck at all. Danielle tells Steve she is looking for the person she's going to spend the rest of her life with, and it's unfortunately not going to be Steve, is what she says. And he agrees. And so she says, you want me to find that, right? You want me to? You'd be happy for me? And he's like, oh, I'd be thrilled for you. Like, he is so clearly trying to get out of this. Like, I feel bad. It's hard to watch because Danielle's so emotional and seems to have really strong feelings for Steve. And he's just like, bada bing, bada boom, get out of here. I'm on to Monique, okay? I gotta hit the shore. I got GTL to do, okay? Like, I gotta go. Snooki's on the loose. We gotta get rolling. Danielle starts crying and saying he was so good to her and she's really sad. And he's just kind of laughing. He's like, don't cry. Like, it's cool. Like, don't cry. I just cannot wait to never see Steve again. I'm so sick of the Steve arc. It's awful. We're back at Dina's. Lexi is home from Greece. She had a great time. Dina is so excited to see her, and that's the end of that. Teresa goes to dinner with her husband, Joe, and their 3 daughters, and it is a madhouse. They are loud, loud, loud. I feel bad for everyone sitting around. I'm not judging. I've never been out to dinner with little children. I'm sure it gets insane, so it is not a critique or a judgment. What can you do? But it seems pretty intense. And Teresa asks Joe if he's okay if she gets a boob job. And he honestly really seems indifferent. I don't think he needs them or wants her to get them. And he doesn't care if she does or if she doesn't. So it's nice that he's supportive in that way. He just essentially says, happy wife, happy life. And that's kind of it. Joe then makes a funny, interesting comment. He says, I get so mad at you for all the money you spend. Yikes. But then I look at you and I look at these 3 little munchkins and, you just take care of them all day, so that makes me happy. Mind you, at that same time, Gabriella's like wielding a knife at Gia's face, so whatever. Now we're at the plastic surgeon's office. Teresa brought Caroline, Dina, and Jacqueline. Good to see Jacqueline with the group, I guess. I don't know. I actually think they're toxic, but they're her family. What are you going to do? And they are there for Teresa's breast consultation, so she's deciding on the size, yada, 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 thinking about silicone versus saline, all those good things. I've got to tell you, I would love a breast lift and reduction. But I'm going to wait till I'm done having kids. And I haven't even had one yet, and I want to. So I'm working on it. It hasn't happened yet. Fingers crossed soon. But oh my gosh, my boobs are so long. Because I've gained weight, and then I lose weight, and then I gain weight, and then I lose weight. And guess who takes the hit most of all? My poor bosom. I'm grateful for them. I'm grateful for everything. I'm grateful that I have no lumps or anything like that. But if I'm just speaking cosmetically, I would love them. I want like cute, sexy, sporty boobs. You know what I mean? Like probably, I'm going to say B to a C cup. That's what I want. C cup at most, but even that I'm a double D right now. Even C cup sounds too big to me. I really think I want a nice set of Bs, and I want them lifted up real high, and I just want those really cute sporty boobs. My friend has the cutest sporty boobs in the world, and I want them so bad. So I understand boob problems, but I have a ways to go before I get there. And then even if I do, I don't even think I'd ever be able to spend the money on anything. So I'll probably just have these for the rest of my life and just be grateful that I have anything, I suppose. I don't know. Too much information? You let me know. So now we're back with Danielle, and she's breaking the news to her daughters that she has broken up with Steve. I don't think they care. I don't think he's been around for as much as they like it to seem like he has been. Danielle says that Steve really wants the girls to know that he's not just going to disappear out of their lives. I'm like, this is okay. Well, if he's telling them that, you already got him involved way too soon. That is just my humble opinion, only because I've done the whole when your parents are dating thing and you meet so many people and it just leaves you so sour in a way, you know, about meeting people in general. To this day, I have problems with meeting new partners, and it's just because I've met 100, you know what I mean? It's awkward, and I think that if I hadn't met them so soon, it wouldn't be so awkward. So I think the fact that Danielle is telling them that Steve's still going to be in their lives just isn't healthy in general. I don't think he should have been in their lives to begin with. Maybe if it was, you know, like a 6 months, I don't know. I don't know what the time frame is. I'm not a parent, but it seems a little soon for my taste, and I don't think her girls care to see Steve anyway. Danielle's oldest daughter kind of makes a really sad comment, kind of speaking to what I'm saying. She says, you know, I don't believe it. I don't believe what Steve's saying. We've heard it before from other guys. And Danielle's like, don't say who it is. And then her younger daughter, Jillian, is like, is it J or was it R? And then the other one was like, oh, there was a few others. So these girls have met at least more than 2 men in Danielle's lives. Now, I'm not saying that's wrong because we don't know how long those previous relationships were. It could have been for a year or so and then they met them. But it's just unfortunate that they're already getting this kind of bitter, untrustworthy taste in their mouth for partners and kind of seeing the bad side of relationships. I really wish Danielle would protect the girls from the men in her life until things are like serious, because they're already probably meeting too many. Now we're with Teresa and Joe, and they are going to get her breast augmentation. She's getting her implants today. I didn't realize it's such a quick surgery. The guy said only 2 hours. I wasn't sure if he was kidding or if it's really that fast. That's amazing if it's that fast. She's a little sore, but she looks great. I can't believe she was just in surgery for how like intact her unshaken out curls are still. It's kind of amazing. But yeah, all went well. And now Jacqueline and Danielle are out to lunch together. They're spending some time together. And, you know, Danielle has a lot to say about Dina. Jacqueline says, listen, you cannot talk to me about Dina. That is my sister-in-law. It's crossing a line. You can't put me in that position. And it's awkward because Jacqueline is Danielle's probably only friend, let's be honest, like close girlfriend who at least knows the group, you know? And so, yeah, that's really her only ear to talk to about these types of things. And Jacqueline doesn't want any part of it if they're going to be friends. So that actually ends pretty well. They're out for Danielle's birthday. Someone's finally celebrating her birthday with her. And all looks well. You guys, that is the end of this episode, which means next week we are getting to the finale. Oh my gosh, the infamous finale. This is one of the biggest finales in all of Real Housewives history. This is the infamous Teresa table flip. I don't even know how we're going to do the finale because there's so much horrible language that I don't approve of. I am pro sex work, and there's a lot of like the word prostitution thrown around and like a lot of WHOREs thrown around. And so like, I don't even know how to address that in next week's episode because I don't like to say those things, but we're going to. Well, I'm not going to say those things. Oh my God. But I'm going to figure it out. We're going to get around to it. Maybe I will just literally read what she says. I don't know. I feel weird saying those words. I don't like those words. We'll figure it out. But anyway, we are already at the finale. Yay! And then we're moving on to season 2. You guys, I have a question. So after the finale, obviously there are reunion shows. Should we do one big reunion show episode? Do you even care about the reunion shows? I'm not going to lie to you. Like, there's a lot of juice in the reunions. It's like a good time. I think we're going to have to do the reunions. Maybe we'll do like a special. I'll get all done up as if I'm like at a Real Housewives reunion. I'll wear like a nice dress and like do my hair and makeup. You better make sure you are here for next Saturday, the finale, okay? And if you can, I do recommend you watch it on YouTube because I'm going to try and do something a little nice for you guys. I'm going to jazz it up a little bit. Maybe we'll have cocktails. Who knows? It's going to be a wicked good time. And don't forget to be here tomorrow for Real Housewives of Orange County. Do you want to say goodbye? Anyways, you guys, Lola, please, with your butt. I've told you 100 times. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to give me a rating on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, whatever. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.